Southeast Asia is the growth engine of the world. Raw materials, labor force, cost efficiency. There are many, many reasons why Southeast Asia is crucial for the global economy. So it's no surprise that a country which wants to position itself as a global superpower is making inroads into every Southeast Asian economy. The country, of course, is China, and it's upping its game in the region. China has made big investments, brought countries into its BRI net, and is now spreading its wings. After having almost colonized Pakistan, China is now making serious strides in Nepal, and this has repercussions for India. But first, let's tell you about the extent of Chinese engagement in Nepal. 2 months ago, China participated in the Nepal Investment Summit, which was held in Kathmandu. There were 620 investors in all in this summit. 620. 250 of them were from China, and India came a distant second with 110 investors, which is less than half of China's strength. And this is just one indicator. Since March 2017, China has promised big-ticket investments in Nepal. Of the total pegged investment of $13.5 billion, China alone accounts for more than $8 billion. An alarming fact is that China's promises came ahead of Nepal's provincial election. This money was China's way of winning influence and gaining political support in Nepal. China tops the list of countries in terms of foreign direct investment in Nepal. As of July 2017, China had invested nearly $80 million in FDI in this tiny Himalayan country. India's investments in Nepal are not even half the Chinese amount. The strategy seems to be working for Beijing. The government of Nepal has not only welcomed the BRI initiative, the president also took part in the second Belt and Road Summit in Nepal this year. This was in China, rather, in April this year. Nepal clearly sees opportunities in the BRI.
I understand the content and essence of this shared development. Everybody should have the benefit from the overall development through this BRI. Therefore, I welcome this concept, and we want to support it, and we want to create favorable atmosphere in favor of the shared development.
Here there are lessons for India. China's attempt to manipulate the politics and economics of countries like Nepal does not bode well for India. So what should Delhi's takeaway be? This is what happened. China saw the infrastructure opportunity in Nepal and it moved in. South Asia, we can tell you, is one of the least integrated regions in the world. Intra-regional trade accounts for only 5% of total trade in this region. Intra-regional investment is only 1% of the overall investment. Clearly, there's a huge gap here. These are issues that China has moved in to address. Spend more money, build infrastructure in these small countries, manipulate the political realities, and get a country that China can use as its market. This has been the game plan. And this has been China's strategy to bring every small country in this region into its fold. The contrast with Indo-Nepal ties is stark. The transactions between Delhi and Kathmandu are mostly government to government. India engages with Nepal through BIMSTEC, the Bay of Bengal regional grouping. The two countries cooperate on 14 priority sectors. India has also announced a 10,000 crore rupee package to Nepal. This will be spent on development projects, which is all very well, but India still has a long way to go to regain its influence in Nepal. New Delhi needs to position itself better when it comes to Nepal. Small countries with unique products like Nepal can help the Indian economy. India still remains Nepal's largest trading partner. The Indian ports of Kolkata and Visakhapatnam are the lifeblood of Nepal's economy. And China is already working to counter that. It has granted Nepal access. China has granted Nepal access to its ports in Tianjin, Shenzhen and Liangyungang. This is Beijing's open challenge to India's influence in Nepal. India needs to recognize the threat and then devise a plan. It could be making investments. It could also be granting easier access to Nepal in the Bay of Bengal. What it cannot be is delayed. The need for action is urgent. On this show tonight, we'll give you 4 recent examples of how China operates, how the stranglehold has been tightening, how China's influence extends beyond the small radius of a country's political economy, and Nepal is a case in point, a very good example at that. Last week, Nepal cancelled a Bollywood event. the 20th edition of the International Indian Film Academy Awards, IFA. It was supposed to be held in Kathmandu next month. There was a lot of anti-India rhetoric in the Nepalese media, and now the government of Nepal has cancelled the event. Now, Nepal's communist government, we can tell you, was very keen on hosting this event. But there was criticism. The opponents of the event said that Nepal would incur a cost of $4 million to host this event. But then this cannot be the reason for cancelling an event. And why am I saying so? Because the government of Nepal itself had clarified that not a single penny will be spent from the national treasury. Besides, the tourism department in Nepal said that the country will actually benefit from this event. At the time, the Nepal government had said that the tangible benefits outweigh the costs from an event like this. So what led to the change in stance? The short answer is China. Beijing is wary of India's cultural influence in Nepal and it wants to stall it. Stopping the Bollywood program was just a signature step. China's hand in Nepal's politics is visible for those who want to see it. The communist government in Kathmandu has denied permission to celebrate the 84th birthday of the Dalai Lama as well. The KP Oli government's stern posture coincides with Beijing's vigilance over Nepal, especially the Tibetan activities. In fact, Tibetans have been targeted in Kathmandu for a while now. A couple of weeks ago, immigration authorities deported an American citizen of Tibetan origin. A senior politician with the ruling coalition was also suspended recently. What was the reason? The leader met with the Dalai Lama. Besides this, China is trying to build cultural influence in Nepal. Mandarin is being taught in schools in Nepal, and China has also got its backers in both the ruling and opposition party leaders in Nepal. Beijing is even training politicians in that country. But China did not stop with influencing politics. It is now engaged in doctoring opinion. In June, 3 journalists from a state-run news agency were investigated in Nepal. What was the reason? They reported on the discharge of Dalai Lama from a hospital in New Delhi. This was just a sample. Reporters Without Borders has accused China of creating a new world order and targeting reporting critical of China. Journalists are discouraged from covering Tibetan affairs. There are nearly 20,000 Tibetan refugees in Nepal. China wants no reportage on that. The reasons are self-explanatory. Beijing's ambitions are clear. China wants a proxy state in Nepal. It wants to get rid of the Indian influence in this region, and it seems like Beijing will pull all the stops to attain its objectives, control the politics, control the narrative, target the Dalai Lama if needed, even stall cultural influences from India.